So I want to talk about a few of the things that I started to believe on a deeper level that completely changed the way that I looked at my enemies. First, I learned and believed on a deeper level that every man, woman, and child is created in the image of God. That means we all have characteristics like God. So like mission, duty, and honor. If these are things that inspired me to join the military, then maybe those were the same things that inspired those men to want to attack us. And while that doesn't make it right, maybe it helped me see some similarities instead of just differences. The second thing that God wanted to teach me was who was actually my enemy. If those men weren't the enemy, then who was? Ephesians 6:12 says, "We do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the principalities, the powers, against the rulers of darkness of this age." I felt God asking me to separate every man from their sin. That sin and the one who causes sin is to blame. If God doesn't identify me by my sin, and I'm not supposed to identify myself by my sin, then I have no business identifying anyone else by their sin. And lastly, I felt like God was just simply asking me, love your enemies. Pray for them. Not quite that simple, but straight from the mouth of Jesus in Matthew 5:44, he says, "I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." So where have I found freedom in all that? It's freedom from hate and from anger and from frustration and fear, and if we're being really honest here, freedom from racism that I didn't even know existed inside of me. And what do I do with that today? Who are my enemies now? Well, sometimes my kids feel like my enemy. And everyone who has kids kind of knows what I'm talking about. But is there anything that your kids could do that you couldn't forgive them for? I think the news and social media want to tell us who our enemies are. So when atrocities like Sandy Hook or Paris or Brussels or Orlando happen, I am grieved. I'm so grieved for the victims and their families, but I'm also grieved for the people who commit the crime. So with the remainder of my time, I want to pray for my enemies. I want to pray and forgive the men who attacked my base at Camp Taji, and I want to pray for the family of the man who opened fire in an Orlando club last week. Father, I am coming before you now, just bearing my heart to you. I want to declare forgiveness for the men who opened fire on my base in 2011.